All right, welcome to the Talking Point Show on ELEGBETE TV Radio and ELEGBETE TV. My name is Idafi Matthew Esiogene. You guys like to call me the ELEGBETE One of Sports, the Atara One Sports. I feel very, very excited and elated to be on your screen and in your ear today. Yeah, once again, we're still, starting this thing, we're test running it, and we're trying to get everybody involved. This is the first show on ELEGBETE TV and ELEGBETE TV Radio that involves the fans, and we are here to deal with the questions, listen to your opinion, and relate with you on that level. Straight away, we have a lot of people who are jumping on the line. My phone is buzzing actually. Like I said, if you are interested in airing your view, being part of this show, all you need to do is go to my Twitter handle at ELEGBETE1. You will see the tweet that is pinned there. You can also go to ELEGBETE TV's Twitter handle. It is at ELEGBETE TV Radio. Yeah, it's on the screen as you can see, and you would just click on it and join the WhatsApp group. But please obey the rules. Don't bring any advert forwarding messages and all that. Let's just have some good and clean and responsible fun in life. But then let's say the ground running. A lot of people talking about Pep Guardiola spending millions. There's a myth in football that I really want to dispel a bit. When we say coaches have spent $1 billion or $2 billion or 100 million and all that, the truth of the matter is, it is like when some people said that Arsene Wenger built the Emirates Stadium. A football club is not run that way. Let's be fair. A football club is run differently. Most of the players that are signed, the coach does not even know when this whole transaction gets done. But it is easy for people to say coach has spent $1 billion. I'm not trying to excuse Pep Guardiola here or Jose Mourinho or any coach for that matter. But it is time we grow to the stage where we can really see things the way they are. It's not everything because Oyibo people say it, then we believe it. I mean, I've been inside a football club and I understand that things are not the way we always see them. But then let's deal with the questions as they come, as well as the contribution. Yeah, the first person on the line, his name is Emmy.
Hello, ELEGBETE TV Radio. You can call me EWMY Emmy, and I'm speaking from Aja, Lagos. Okay, so my favorite team, LFC, is having a blockbuster of a season in the Premier League, smashing all opponents and records along the way. So here's my question. Why is LFC so dominant this season? Do you think it's because, like, the haters will say that the league is currently weak? Or maybe it's VAR, the Liverpool, the way they put it, LIVAR pool? Or maybe because Liverpool are actually just simply too good at the moment? What do you think? Thank you.
I mean, the question you're asking about Liverpool, a lot of people have said it, and I'm part of the people who said that the VAR in particular have aided Liverpool a bit this season. Earlier in the season, we see the game against Spurs, Man City Spurs, where Gabriel Jesus' goal was shocked off for VAR's decision. But then Liverpool has also suffered a few one. Manchester United, Liverpool, I think, where the armpit or the shadow of Firmino was considered to be in an offside position. Those very, very key moments, they are controversial moments. Unfortunately, Liverpool have benefited more than any other team. But then that's the same way Howard Webb favored Manchester United a lot more than any other team. That's the same way Ron favored Arsenal in their unbeaten season a lot more than any other team. So these things happen on the stretch. That's decisions alone. I want to remember the Liverpool versus Leicester game where Mane went to the ground. That game would have ended 1-1, but Mane went to the ground and the penalty was awarded, and the game ended 2-1 in favor of Liverpool. Those key moments. But this is how I say it. Once you know how to do what you do and you do it very, very well, the universe will conspire to give you extra luck and extra opportunity and extra life and extra chance to do the things you do, because the universe enjoy the beauty of excellence. So I think that Liverpool have been they've been coming. I predicted this 4 years ago that it would take Jurgen Klopp 5 years to win the Premier League title, and a lot of people were criticizing me. I was still in Brilla FM at the time. A lot of people were criticizing me that I don't know what I'm saying. That a club that has not won it for 20-something years, why do I think that Jurgen Klopp, who's Jurgen Klopp, better than Jurgen Klopp, have been at Liverpool? So you look at this team, it was well built. It was built to purpose. this is a purpose-built vehicle in this Liverpool team. After this season, they might not be able to repeat it, but when a team gets to the finals of the Champions League and lose that finals, and then come back the following year and win the Champions League, you could also say that that same team became second in the Premier League with the most points that any other team has had. In short, points that people have used to win the Premier League, Liverpool actually used that same point to come second. So you would know that it is going to be difficult for any other team to stop them because they've gone to the mountain. Like the great Martin Luther King, they've gone to the mountain, they've seen, and they know what it takes. It's like scripture, taste and see that and know that the Lord is good. They've gone to the mountain, they've seen, they've tasted Champions League success, they've built a team that is indestructible, a team that is untouchable, a team that is, you cannot impel them. They just feel like this is our time. They are like Thanos or probably the Avengers coming back together for the Infinity War, whatever it is. But they got it very, very right. And then they have a coach who is not distracted. One of the things that Jurgen Klopp have succeeded in doing is keep his eye on the prize. Capital One Cup does not mean anything to Liverpool. He quickly sent the reserve team to go lose to Aston Villa, and they got knocked out of it. Aston Villa can get to the finals and lose to Man City or win it. It's their business. The FA Cup too, he didn't take it that serious because that is not something that Liverpool is looking for. Liverpool has won quite a few of the FA Cup, so he stayed focused. In life, there are lessons to learn from Jurgen Klopp. What Jurgen Klopp has done is last season he knew that he needed to win the UEFA Champions League because that is one thing that everybody has said he doesn't know how to win the finals. Once he gets to the finals, he loses it. So he wanted to prove that and then save his own career and put that marker down. Now it's done that. He also knows that one of the things that will make him a Liverpool legend for the rest of his life and his career is to make sure he wins the Premier League, because this is a title that Liverpool has not won. We'll talk about the Premier League era since 1992, but then since over 30 years, they've not won the league title. So he stayed focused on it, and in between, the universe has conspired to help him too. The injuries have been well managed. He's managed to rotate his team very well. He's also created a style that kind of like old school, but also new school. A style that puts the focus more on the left fullback and the right fullback rather than the midfielder. So what the midfielders does is make sure they break play, make sure they stop the opposition, make sure they do everything that keeps the team going. And then a front three that is interchangeable but also very, very fantastic. You have a Firmino that is not greedy, that is not self-centered, that is not listening to the distraction of people saying he's not scoring a lot of goals. Very, very happy to create goals, very, very happy to run into channels, very, very happy to link up play between Mo Salah and Sadio Mane. And also Sadio Mane has raised this game by scoring quite a lot of goals than he did last season. So I think Liverpool deserve their title. Are the other teams in the league weak? No. Leicester won the league title. People said that. But I think a team must stay consistent over a course of time. And Liverpool have done that. So I give them credit for doing that. I don't think Liverpool we can say because of VAR they are winning the league title. Yes, VAR has worked a bit for them, but that's not just the reason why that has happened. I hope I've answered your question in depth, and thank you very much for your question, Emmy. Now we have another caller. FJ, what do you have on your mind?
Hello, ELEGBETE TV radio. My name is FJ, and I'd like to ask a question. Basically, you look at the Milan derby, the Derby della Madonnina that took place on Sunday between Inter and AC Milan, and it ended 4-2. And we saw Romelu Lukaku's celebration and everyone talking about how outrageous it is. Do you think the celebration was outrageous? Do you think Milan are no longer the team that Inter should be watching out for? And do you think Inter as a club should actually look bigger than the Milan derby, given the occasion and how it is?
All right, FG. First up, yes, Milan is a weak team, but weak team has nothing to do with derbies. When it's a derby, it's a derby. I don't know the school of thought, the people who say that the celebration by Romelu Lukaku is bad. Let me tell you these things. People always say that when you're a superstar, you're a celebrity, words should not bother you, you should not get wound up. It's a lie. Celebrity does not stop you from being human. This guy have been told all sorts of crap, rubbish, shit, crazy things. His first control is bad. He's not a good player. They tried to paint him so horrible. That's why they traded him. And nobody actually saw Inter Milan coming. Like Inter Milan was going to rise. The whole idea is Lukaku will go to Inter Milan. Juventus will still win the league title. Inter Milan will maybe struggle for fourth spot. And then everybody will say, well, that is Lukaku for you. That is the reason why we sold him, because he doesn't add value to the team. And then he shows up at Inter Milan. Let's not forget that Icardi was doing very well with Inter Milan. Yes, he had his problem off the field, his character and all that, but he was scoring quite a lot of goals. So it was difficult to just come into that Inter Milan team. And then the Italian league is regarded as the most tactically astute league, where it is difficult for strikers to come in and score. And then he's come in and broken all the records held by Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Ronaldo da Lima, Ivan Zamorano, Avero Recoba, name it. Anybody who's played for Inter Milan that has scored goals, nobody has gotten to 20 goals as fast as he has. And then you're coming off the back of people saying that you don't have a good first touch. Let's not forget that all through his career, he's been blighted with rejection. He went to Chelsea. He was rejected. He left Chelsea, went to Manchester United. You would have thought that that's the place where Lukaku will blossom and become like the guy who proves everybody wrong. Once again, he was rejected for no fault of his. So when he gets to a place where the fans accept him, they welcome. This is the first time, apart from Everton, this is the first time where he's really being loved, he's being respected. Lukaku is having a ball. He's playing the game of his life, and he's playing for the fans. He's playing for the badge. He's playing for his own honor. He's setting the record straight with his goals. So if he wants to celebrate, for as long as he doesn't go out there to insult the fans or incite anybody, he has the right to celebrate. As for Inter Milan, I didn't take them serious earlier on. I felt like Conte was assembling a bunch of never do well has been, but it's time to take them serious. Conte knows how to win the league, and that's exactly what he's showing with Inter Milan. If they can keep going and grinding result like this, to come back from 2 goals down in a derby like he did at the Derby della Madonnina, or the Milan derby as people popularly know it, you should give him some respect and listen when he speaks. I think that Lukaku deserves all the celebration, all the accolades, and all the things that he's done so far. I mean, there's nothing wrong with what he's done. I hope that make you feel good. Let's move to the next person on the line. As it is, we need to listen to everybody and feel their pulse on this show. It is the Talking Point show. So any talking points that you have, bring it on board and then we'll talk about it. So let's listen to Olaleye.
My name is Olaleye Ido. I did like to talk about ex-internationals, Super Eagles of Nigeria. Not really so happy with Genotro. Most especially, a lot of them think he hasn't done his very best. I for one feel in terms of his performance, it's based on his contract. I think he has delivered, but based on what the presidents, talking about former, Super Eagles coach, now let's coach Stephen Keshi had done winning the Nations Cup in 2013, and Road not even going a step further. But there's been so much backlash, so I think this should be a call for discussion, because a lot of people are thinking a lot of these ex-internationals don't have their way in terms of bringing players to the national team, which is a discourse, could be controversial, but I think it's something we should really talk about. Is Genotro fit to go forward to the Super Eagles, or should he be allowed to leave when his contract runs out in June?
First off, Olale, thank you very much for your call, and we appreciate it. The ex-internationals that are complaining, no disrespect to anybody, but I'm going to say this the way it is with me. All these ex-internationals that are complaining about Genotro, all of them, 100% of them are a bunch of failures, never do well. People who can't even give us evidence of anything that they've done since they retired from playing football. Genotro on his own is also a former football player, a former national team player, and a former Bayern Munich player. So it's not as if he didn't have a playing career or he didn't have a professional career, and he's coaching the Nigerian national team. If these guys know better, they should be doing something and be proving it. Now let's come to Genotro. What he deserves is a contract renewal. I would say this, that the biggest mistake that the NFF would do is not to renew Genotro contract. One of the things you need to put into perspective when you discuss Genotro and in relation to Stephen Keshi winning the African Nations Cup for Nigeria is the African Nations Cup that Nigeria won in 2013 was more like a hurriedly put together. The Nations Cup had been played in 2012. Everybody was still trying to recover from the Nations Cup, and then we hurriedly got to 2013. No, I'm not saying that we don't deserve it, but I think that that adjustment worked in our favor a bit because we didn't qualify for that one, and then we were rested. We had a chance. We came in, we brought in our players, and then we won it. Now, having said that, after Stephen Keshi, we didn't qualify for 2 Nations Cup before Genotrol came in. You had a team that the entire team was gone. The first Nations Cup that Genotrol was going to, it took 20 rookies to the Nations Cup. This was the first time it was happening since like forever, since like maybe 1979, the last time it happened. And then it went all the way. When I say all the way, it went all the way to the semi-finals and lost that to that last minute. It wasn't a tactical blunder. It wasn't the thing that has to do with it. It was just players, goalkeeper, and the wall that let him down. And then who scored that goal? Mahrez. We've seen Mahrez score that kind of goal in the EPL against better than Akpeyi. And then let's not forget Akpeyi actually had a very good Nations Cup. So he put all that together. He also produced in that Nations Cup the highest goal scorer in Jude Odion Igalo in his team. So I cannot say yet that, the man has not done well, has not met expectation. When he was employed, we had not qualified for the Nations Cup twice. We needed somebody that would just qualify us. And I remember clearly that Nigerians were saying if he gets to the quarterfinals, he has done well. So where this whole conversation is coming from, I don't know. One of the things I should remind Nigerians is if we sack Genotrol right now, we will not qualify for the next World Cup. We might bully our way through the Nations Cup, but we will not qualify for the next World Cup. These are my reasons. One, there is no ready-made Nigerian coach right now that can handle the Super Eagles in the next foreseeable future. There is no Nigerian coach. Maybe Emmanuel Amunike, but I don't think he's ready to come when the money that they are owing him before he has not been paid. He's not ready to come. Outside Emmanuel Amunike, there's no other Nigerian coach that is good enough that can hold their own against this highly paid, highly traveled, exposed national team players. And let's not forget that a bulk of these players are players that are born abroad. So what they understand is different. And then all the 90% of Nigerian coaches are bribe collectors, are bag carriers, are people who really do not understand what it means to be a coach. Gone are the days where we have Stephen Keshi, we have Amadou Shaibu, and the rest of them. The coaches we have right now are hungry people who are begging for favor. The young coaches that are coming up that will take off, coaches like Olumide, coaches like Olajide, those coaches are not ready yet. They are not ripe enough to even be at the under 17. Not talk about go to that level. So let's not even discuss it. And then the money you're paying Genotrol right now, if you sack a Genotrol, you would need to either double it or put a 50% increase to it to get in any foreign coach. So look at it from that angle that Amaju right now is rotting tomatoes. The NFF stock is coming, is nosediving. Where would they get the money to pay another coach? So if you have a Genotrol, keep him, because this is the very first time where the saying, the devil you know is better than the angel you don't know. This is the very first time in my life that I would support that phrase. I think that Genotrol has done well by my own appraiser, and I think it deserves to be there. All the ex-international should go and sleep and keep quiet, because they are a bunch of failures since the end of their career. One very good example that you should know is Samson Sasa going around cap in hand asking for money. You ask yourself, how much money did he make all through his time as national team coach, both under 23 and at the Super Eagles, that he couldn't raise that kind of money? So let's not even talk about the ex-international, but let's move on. I think there's somebody else who have something to say. Let's listen to what he's got to say.
My name is Oluwaseun. My first question goes thus: what is your own take concerning the conflict or the issue between Messi and the Barcelona sporting director, the ex-Barcelona player Eric Abidal? Is it a right thing for Messi to criticize publicly the statement said by Eric Abidal that some of the players' attitude led to the sack of the Ernesto Valverde? And if it is right for Messi to criticize them publicly, are we saying Messi is bigger than him? And if we say no, can we also say is it right for Eric Abida to make such comment concerning some players? And my second question goes thus is concerning our MPFL. I don't still know what do you call it, Sheldiko led committee are still doing concerning the sponsorship deal of the MPFL, because sometimes it baffles me when I watch South African League and some other African leagues like Zambia on GoTV or DSTV. The way their this thing is arranged, managed, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes it just somehow when I look back concerning Nigerian league, didn't they learn from all these people or see what they are doing when it comes to football management or league management? Because since they are now all these on online radio or TV sponsorship, nothing has been done. Though at least this season league have been going smoothly, and at least we are really enjoying it. When you hear some away results, which like it adds for a away team to go and get the results, but now it's happening. But I don't know what this the NFF NPFL management are doing. Another question I would like to ask is concerning the appointment of uh, Daniel Amokachi as a Nigerian football ambassador. I want to really know, is it a good thing to bring in all our some of our ex-internationals to be managing some of our football posts so that we can have more improvement? Because I didn't really even understand what this current NFF committee or executive are really doing. It's really taking time for them to talk about the renewal of Genotro contracts. We don't even know what they are doing, and we have so many matches coming up. Nations Cup is still, qualifying is still there. World Cup qualifying is still there. If look at the performance of this man so far, to me at least he has really tried. But nevertheless, if they are not interested in him continue, they should let us know. At least they should do something. All this while they've been giving excuses that I is it IPC, EFCC have been I mean disturbing them, that they've not been doing anything. Now they free them. I don't really understand what they are doing. I don't just understand the way they are managing football. Is that how it's being done? Even some of our ex, you hardly see them talk about all these issues. They just keep mute. Look at all these foreign, especially English players, the ex player. We see the way they used to make comments, talk about some. This even affect or make the football administrators to sit upright and do the right thing at the right time. But in our own case here, it's just different. Please, I want you to share more light on this. Thank you very much.
All right, allow me. You've given me a potpourri of questions, Messi and Abidal, and all the things that are happening there. Abakashi being named sports ambassador, Nigerian league showing on TV. There's a lot to talk about there. Let me try my best to blend into all of them and see how it goes. First off, Abida was wrong. I've been a football player. Abida been a football player. He's been inside the dressing room in the course of a season. It is the management that takes the decision. At the very, very start of the season, when they were unable to get in the marquee signing of Neymar, and then their so-called Griezmann that they went to get is not blending in, they should hide themselves, their faces in shame, and just pray that the season goes well and then they win anything. It is not players that sack coaches. It is actually management that comes out and takes a decision. Look at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at Manchester United. I don't think that all the players in that team likes him, but the management have decided that we're backing this man so far, and it's been there. The players of sports, I don't think all of them approve of Pochettino being sacked, but I mean, Levy felt this man is not our next level. I'm not talking the Buhari kind of next level anyway, but this is not our next level, and they fired him. So if you sack a coach, don't come out and put the blame. To me, it's irresponsible for leaders to excuse their responsibility. And then Abidal have made a few gaffes here and there. One, you were running around for Xavi. The next minute you come out because you want to save face. You said there was no offer made to Xavi. So who was running around? Why did you travel to Qatar? Why did you go and see Xavi? Is it a courtesy visit? Is it a partnership visit? What were you going to see him? You were going to ask him, should we sack, what's it called, Ernesto Valverde, or should we keep him? So there's so many things in that conversation that is not right. Now, Messi had the right as a captain of his team to defend his his players, because the players are looking up to him and he's a god. And then when you've achieved as much as Messi have achieved, when Messi came to this team, they had only one Champions League title. Today, they've added 4 to it. So if you look at the amount of titles that they've won in the stretch since Messi came into this team, you know that he's earned the right, he's earned the chips on his shoulder to have a say-so on things that happen. And especially the players will be looking at him like, oh, when they're insulting us, you don't say anything. You are a leader in the team. You're the captain of this team. So there's a problem. So as a captain, he's spoken of, because if I be that I wanted this thing to be said in the boardroom and in the dressing room, he would have said it in the boardroom and in the dressing room. Since he felt going public with it and talking to the press, footballers don't like the press. That's something you should know. Going to the press and giving them ammunition to attack the players and arming them, in a time like this, then you know that it is also the press that they will use. And I like what Messi did. Messi was classy about his own. He didn't go to another media house to go grant a press interview. He used his own media, Instagram, to say what he wants to say, and he specifically spoke his mind on the matter. Eventually, Abida will be fired. They would all leave. A new management will come. Barcelona will start afresh again. It is time for Barcelona to press the F5 button and refresh. So they will go there. Your other question that you raised, Amokachi being appointed as ambassador of football, I don't think it owes anything. Friday Kuja is football ambassador. Abu Rime, that agent, is football ambassador. When you say football ambassador, he is not part of the NFF. The people who are responsible and are saddled with the responsibility of running football in Nigeria are the NFF. So if the president appoints him, he was part of the people who campaigned effervescently for the president during the election. So I think this is the president saying that I can't make you minister of sports. You don't have the political clout to do that. I can't give you really good appointment. What are you known for? Football. So just give him the appointment so that I can justify whatever stipends that I'm giving to you. So I think Amokachi is just. This has been Amokachi's part. This has been his part for life. When we were in the heat of Abacha, everybody was against Abacha. Amokachi was Abacha's boy. Let's not forget that one. So this is who Amokachi is. He's earned the right to be there. I don't want to judge him for it. I like him. I'm a fan of Amokachi. I grew up loving him. But I don't think that the appointment of Amokachi as football ambassador would help Nigerian football in any way. It's just his personal bank account that it will help, and his relationship within the corridors of power. Amokachi have always loved to be in the corridors of power, and once again, he's found himself there. Kudos, congratulations to him, but it has no gain, no benefit for Nigerian football. Talking about the Nigerian league and the broadcast rights and all that, Shehu Diko, I've said it from the beginning, I'm still going to stand it. That thing that they did with Nest TV was a scam. My ELEGBETE TV YouTube channel have more views, more subscribers than Nest TV. Nest TV does not do any content. If you go check very well, Nest TV did not even mention it in their website that they have a partnership with the LMC. So it's shady. But the people that I blame are the 20 clubs. If the government club are not doing anything, FC Fanyimba, MFM are clubs that are private owned and private funded. If they are not speaking, then it's a responsibility. I really don't care. These days, I don't bother going to the stadium to watch the match. If you notice, I don't tweet or comment about the MPF anymore, because I feel supporting it and promoting it is me supporting the scam and the sham and the fraud that they're perpetrating there. If they can't speak up for themselves, it is business. If they can't fight for their business, I don't have anything to say regarding that.
My name is Joseph. My name is Joseph from Orile. Yeah, my question goes like this. I was listening to a radio program, and a journalist said Pep Guardiola of Man City, needs 3 more years to win the Champions League. So, and I tweeted that if Guardiola needs 3 more years to win the Champions League, then Lampard needs 10 years and Arteta of Arsenal needs 15 years. Now my question goes to you, because you once tweeted that you once said, and I quote, that Guardiola is the best coach when it gets to any league, and it's a two-man horse race when it gets to any league. So my quote, or my own question to you now is, do you really think Guardiola is the best coach at the moment, and does he really need 3 more years at City to win the Champions League, because he's currently on a billionaire squad? I just want to know. Thank you.
All right, Joseph. Saying Pep Guardiola needs 3 more years to win the Champions League, you can't fault the journalist that said that. It's his opinion. Nobody is God. Nothing is cast in stone. Pep Guardiola can win it this year. Remember in 2012 when Chelsea won the Champions League with Roberto Di Matteo, Chelsea was having a very horrible season, but they did end up winning it. It's not about the money spent anyway, because people always talk about that. And at the top of the show, I think I mentioned it. Pep Guardiola didn't spend all that money that people are talking that he spent. It's the club that spends it. It's a business, okay? So if my cameraman is using the most expensive camera in this company, I'm the CEO of this company. I'm the one who issued the check. If I don't have the money for that, I won't buy it. The thing about employing Pep Guardiola, you know you're buying a Ferrari. You cannot use the money you use to service a Honda or a Toyota to service a Ferrari. So if you employ a Pep Guardiola, you are going to live up to a standard. You cannot say you want to live in Banana Island, for instance, and then you don't like paying service charge for the flat that you're going to stay. My brother, go and buy a house in Ekpe or go and buy property somewhere in Ajegule or Bulegba. No disrespect to people living in those areas, but that's just what it is. What it is. So if you employ Pep Guardiola, like Jose Mourinho, for instance, or currently the coach of Atletico Madrid, or Zinedine Zidane, you're going to spend big. My people will say, "What are you book? If you shop plenty, you go put plenty." It's as simple as that. But when it will win the Champions League, I don't know. The team is not far from winning the Champions League. It can win it tomorrow. Let's not forget that they are second in the Premier League. This is the same second that Jose Mourinho was, and then with Manchester United, and then he won the Europa. And everybody said it was a success. He's second in the league. He's won the league back to back in the last 2 seasons. If you say he spent £1 billion, is it justified or not? It's justified. The market today is inflated. You're looking at the worst football player in the history of football worth £72 million. His name is Nicolas Pepe. He can't control the ball. He can't keep possession. He can't pass accurately. He can't cross accurately. But nobody's complaining. And then when we talk about Pep Guardiola spending £1 billion, let me remind people of this. How come nobody is talking about the money that Thomas Tuchel has spent in what's it called, Paris Saint-Germain? Or how come when Unai Emery was there, nobody talked about the money he spent? Or is he not the one that signed Neymar again? Since you think Pep Guardiola is the one that signed all these players, how come they don't say Paris Saint-Germain coach is the one that signed this player? Let's even ask ourselves, do you think it is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer that signed Ojo Igalo? The answer is no. So when we put all these things, let's put them in perspective. They have not done well this season. They are still second in the league. They are still in the Champions League. They are in the finals of the Capital One Cup. They are still in the English FA Cup. If they end up winning, let's say hypothetically they win the Champions League this season, would that not be success already on its own? 20 points behind or 50 points behind Liverpool. It's not the only team in the league. If they are 20 points behind and the other teams behind them cannot even overtake them and chase Liverpool, then it's their own fault. It's not Pep Guardiola's fault. I don't want to join that conversation whether I spent £1 billion or you didn't spend £1 billion. That's not for me to say. But I hope I've answered your question, because that's the most important part on the show, for us to be able to have a conversation, a very civil and matured conversation. Time flies when we're having fun, but I would let this last call in. Ediale Kingsley. Ediale Kingsley is actually the most prolific writer of this modern day in Nigeria and in Africa, and I read a whole lot of his write-up. His write-up are so beautiful, they cost me to research, because some of the people he's writing about, I don't know them. I just begin to search, who is this person, who is that person, and it's written quite a lot. If you follow Ediale Kingsley, you would understand what I'm saying. But let's hear what he's got to say.
Hello, House. I am Ideale Kingsley. But first, before I jump into giving my contribution question, I just want to encourage this awesome crew behind the great brand, ELEGBETE TV. I just want to let you guys know you guys shouldn't stop. You guys are doing a great work. Keep going. Many are watching and listening to you guys from afar. Your eventual destination is just so bright. Now, back to the matter of football. I just recently published an interview I had with Igalo's agent, Aneke Atta, and he said a lot about the basic challenges as it affects our football talent development in this country. We talked about how Igalo's journey to Manchester United has been a steady, progressive plan from day one. He talked about how even when he first went to Udinese, there was a plan. I think Lokomotiv Moscow wanted him, but they checked everything and discovered that no, going to Udinese was better for his development, and so he went there. It was not just about money, even though Lokomotiv Moscow was going to offer more. So in other words, Igalo is at United today because he got his development stage quite right. I know ELEGBETE TV prides itself on the fact that they give attention to grassroots football. I want to know your suggestion towards solving this problem, where almost all the academies we have today in the country are basically almost all about making the money quickly. It's almost about making the money quickly. They want to go to any country that will give them money, and the development and every other thing be it secondary. And most times, like Aneke said, it backfires. I would like to I'd like us to discuss this. Thank you.
Oh, Adiale Kingsley, that's so nice. In your follow-up write-up, you said in Senegal, he said he saw a more serious approach, but in Nigeria, agent guardian won't think twice before sending the young talent to Kazakhstan, all for the money. The player gets there, makes some money for himself. Okay, all for the money. The player gets there, makes some money for himself. Family and agent takes his own cut, and then the players mostly never last in the scene. Only few are lucky enough to redirect their steps. First off, it is not an academy or the decision to sell you to anywhere that makes a footballer great. What makes a footballer great is his mindset, is his ability to see that, you know what, this is my career, I want to stay long in this, and then having the right set of people around you. So you can, from Nigeria, for instance, go to Kazakhstan and play your way all the way to AC Milan or to Real Madrid or to FC Barcelona. You can also, from Nigeria, go to Ajax, go to the Dutch league, move from there to Portugal, from Portugal to Belgium, from Belgium to France, and still not have a great career. We've seen a players from the Dutch league, which is the league that is regarded as the one that develop players the most, not meet up to standard. We see Ryan Babel, we see Rustin Drante, and a whole lot of others. We've also seen great players come out of that league. We also see players come from Albania, Slovenia, Sweden, Denmark. Zlatan Ibrahimovic came from Sweden. We've seen them. Zlatan Ibrahimovic left Sweden straight away. He had a chance to sign for Arsenal. He didn't sign. He left Malmo. I went to Ajax. In Ajax, he didn't do anything well. It was when he played under Fabio Capello. Go and read his book. I mean, I Am Zlatan. You will see the story. When he played under Fabio Capello, that he turned his game around and changed his career. That's even the reason why he's gone to Milan, because Milan was a turning point for him. But Milan is a big club. So you look at all of that and say, okay, look at Arsenal. The same Arsenal that made Ashley Cole, the same Arsenal that made Thierry Henry, Patrick Vieira, Emmanuel Petit, improve Overmars, Freddie Ljungberg, and the rest of them could not in any way or shape or form improve players like Francis Jeffers, Pascal Saigan, Joan Giroud, what's the other guy again that looks, Marouane Chamakh, and a host of others. So it is not just about the league you go to, but it's the meeting point when you meet a coach at a given point in time, a coach that takes a liking to you and decide, I want to improve your game. Now let's bring it back home to Nigeria. There is a gap in Nigerian football that nobody has been able to fill, and that's the reason why agents or academies and parents will take their players to anywhere they want to go to. The economy is terrible. Let's not forget that a footballer's career is like rolling a dice. One in a million opportunity, one in a million chance is what you have to be successful in the game of football. So you're not going to put all your eggs in one basket and be waiting for the glorious agent that will take you to a better league. All agents do not have the same connection, the same contact. The people that I know are not the people you know. The places I can go to are not the places you can go to. I know people who are doing online TV that are struggling. I am also struggling, but I can easily call people and come in. Some other people start it after 3 months, they pack up because it doesn't make sense. Okay, so it's about network connections and all that, and the network is not going to come and look for you. What it takes to be there. So when you get your first chance to hit it, you hit it. The biggest transfer ever made from Nigeria to Europe is not a player from the Nigeria Professional Football League. It is Victor Osimhen from an amateur club in Lagos to Wolfsburg, 3.5 million euros. So you look at all of that, there is so much in it. There is not going to be a solution in sight until we have a good league, and a league that also have a reserve team that groom players, that give players opportunity to grow, not this one that we have. If we don't have that, I will tell any player, we're discussing Odion Igalo. It's easy to use Odion Igalo as an example right now. If Odion did not sign this 6 months loan to Manchester United, this conversation will not come up. Let's not forget that when he signed for Chinese club a couple of seasons ago, these same Nigerians who think that Odion is the holy grail of football that are celebrating jumping on the street were mocking him. We went to the World Cup in 2018. He missed a chance against Argentina. You need to understand all of that. There is no clear cut from academy to Europe. And there is no law that says if you go to Sweden or you go to Kazakhstan or you go to Albania or you go to Slovenia, you can't make it in life. There is also no law that says if you go to England, Belgium, France, Holland, Portugal, then you automatically become the greatest player in the world. No. Players have come from terrible leagues, and won the World Footballer of the Year. Players have also come from the best leagues in the world and have not been seen. Players have played under some of the best coaches, groomed by the best leagues, and they still turn out to be rubbish. The thing about success in football is the same thing about success in life. You must first determine that I want to be successful. I want to stay in this game. Odion is an exception to the rule, just like Messi, just like Cristiano Ronaldo. Odion, for instance, as popular, as big, as rich, as massive as he is, does not go to nightclub, does not drink alcohol. When you say alcohol, wine, he doesn't drink. It doesn't womanize. Let's say it the way it is, because if it is David Beckham will say it. So you look at all of this. Odion has plotted the graph of his life by being responsible, by being dedicated, by being committed. How many Nigerian players do you see that can show you videos of them training when they are injured? No, Nigerian players just think, well, match day comes, I play. Apart from Odion and maybe John Ogun and a few other people, some people are not true to the game. My mom used to say this when I was growing up, and it's something that I've mirrored the way I live my life. My mom would say that if you give yourself so much to a thing, even if you are the most ignorant person in that field, eventually you become an expert. And she crowned it up with this parable that if soap stay safe for leaf, the leaf go come the foam. That's exactly how this thing about career is. So there is no straight cut from academy to Europe. Although we will talk about this Udinese and going to what's it called. Did Ahmed Musa not go to Lokomotiv Moscow? Did his career not also go well? So it doesn't matter whether I go to Udinese. We're only talking this today because of this loan deal to Manchester United. If he had ended his career in China, some people will call him a failure. Some people will say all sorts. In 2018, let's not forget all of the things we say about Odion. Where were all these people that time to come and tell us his career path, his decision, his choices? So I think that what works for you works for you. What doesn't work doesn't work. But using Senegal as an example, hey, I don't think in the west coast of Africa there is any country that has got it right. Well, we have run out of time. This has been very, very interesting. And I love the fact that everybody have something to say on the Talking Point Show. My name still remains Adafi, Matthew Esiogene. As you love to call me, the ELEGBETE Sports, the Atari Sports. This is where I say adios.